place to promote the growth of Tigres in English through analysis, discussions, interviews, and more. Welcome to the Lautimes podcast.
Did you miss us? I guess I'm starting. I wasn't really sure how we were starting, but here we are. I guess I'm starting. It's good to be back, everybody. Welcome back to Lautimes. It is truly the dog days of summer, as our episode title so says. And in an ideal world, our Tigres will be playing in the Club World Cup right now, but they're not. So we're here to talk about lame things such as transfers and rumors and things that are not as fun as actual games. So we're here to talk about it all. Welcome back. I'm Dennis, the pseudo host, I guess. The real host is actually here. Mr. I don't know though, which I'll put on in a second once I do my producing duties. He's in the house. In fact, everybody's here. Lou's here. Edgar's here. Alfred's here. Everybody's here, man. We're just missing Woodsy, honestly. But it's good to be back, gang. How are we?
In the words of Terrell Owens, Dennis, you're my quarterback. You're my quarterback.
This guy, man.
I've been replaced.
True talent shines through, bro.
Hombre, you better chill. If you're watching with us right now on Twitter and YouTube, thanks for being here. If you're listening on podcast later, thanks for
2-1. Palmeiras scored.
But if oh wow, yeah, what a goal! And if you're watching right now, yes, these are both the twins of Romulo Suarez on the bottom of the screen between Alfred and Edgar.
No more.
Hombre,
And not coincidentally, the two best-looking guys in the house.
that is facts. Too bad they're already married, ladies.
Are we doing fails at the top and good-looking guys at the bottom? Is that how we're splitting it up?
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Unfortunately, lo más feo de todos está aquí. Anyways, to be honest, guys, I've been in this meeting for the last hour, so I haven't even opened the outline. But I'm just gonna roll with it. So, Edgar, please start us off before you inevitably have to depart here in about 30 minutes.
All right, so this outline's a little bit old, but it'll still serve us because we haven't talked in a while. We're going to get started with the Amazonas and their transfer window. They have been the most active of the Tigres teams. Let's kick it off with Diana Ordóñez. A little bit of a background on her. Born on September 26, 2001 in Riverside, California. In 2022, Ordóñez was selected 6th overall in the NWSL draft by North Carolina Courage. She made an immediate impact, scoring 11 goals in her rookie season and earning the NWSL Rookie of the Month award in August of 2022. And then my outline messed up. But in 2023, she requested a trade to the Houston Dash to be closer to her Texas roots. During her time in the Dash, she scored 8 goals in 44 appearances. Internationally, Ordóñez represents Mexico. She made her debut for the Mexican national team on April 9, 2022, scoring 2 goals as a substitute against Plum Country.
Didn't she score? Did she score against us back in Summer Cup last year? Is that what happened? Yeah, that's how
it was. Yeah,
that was not a pretty game.
And I believe she was fighting with Anika.
At some point,
yeah, probably.
Yep.
Yeah, like during the game or something, they had a little scuffle.
Yeah, seriously. First comment of the night, by the way, Threedger, our faithful friend Threedger. Dennis, don't do yourself like that, bro. Come on now, man.
That's true. I second that.
Nah,
bro, don't ever, bro.
Chill out, bro. I'm the most single man here on the show, also too. That coincides with most fail. Anyways, can we talk about her fit with the team? I'm sure we'll get to the impending departures, aka the reason why there's space for Ordóñez to play on this team. But let's talk about her fit within this squad and how Losa could end up using her.
To me, she doesn't fit too well in the 4-3-3 scheme, especially given that we have Jennifer Cochinali pretty well cemented in that 9 role. Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing a switch to like a 4-4-2 to be able to have two center forwards playing. I think she would do really well. I think her one advantage that she's gonna have, and it's gonna be a big advantage in this league, is that she's great in the air. She is a nightmare to defend, especially against less physical defenders, less physical center backs that she'll face. In NWSL, she was probably dealing with a lot taller, more physical players, and in this league, I think she'll have an opportunity to receive crosses from Ovalle, Tembi, now Maria Sanchez coming in too. So I think it's a great opportunity for us to be using two center forwards with two distinct characteristics. I think it's a good chance for Pedro to kind of switch things up a little bit.
Ovalle for 6 months. Anyways,
I think that you sum it all up with wing play. That's what I think that the strengths are wing play, especially with the arrival of once we get into Maria. But prior to that, I think that playing through the outside was obviously a target through Tembi and Ovalle, with who were on the team already. Cordinali, like you mentioned, in that 9 role, but also having the ability to play as a center forward and being able to set up players. She did that a lot and consistently, as in the later part of the season when she got more playing time and she got adjusted to playing with the team. So I think, to me, it's a win-win. I don't think she's coming in to be a outright starter, but I think she can contest for some minutes there. I think she also provides depth at a position where, we've gone through some changes and we were used to either Mayor or Allison playing in that position, especially not being convinced totally with Ana Diaz with the on and off, on the bench starting rotation that he had there. And then defensively, I think we get better in set pieces while offensively getting, like you mentioned, Lou. So I think overall, from whatever angle you spin it, it's a win-win addition.
Not using a foreign player spot either. That's also very helpful. With Ana Diaz, you were forced to use a foreign spot.
And the most important asset, she joins El Poder de la Amistad. She knows a lot of the players from being on the national team.
Do you guys know if Aligol is still injured?
I think so.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's good that she comes in. I mean, because we had lost that option with Aligol being injured, so now we have her as an extra offensive attack.
Yep. All right, so that's Ordóñez. She's the first of 3 signings that the ladies have made. Edgar, give us the bio on signing number 2 from the Águilas.
Alrighty, signing number 2, the signing that almost didn't happen, but Televisa didn't pay their Wi-Fi. That was the only issue there. Sabrina Enciso has been signed, a dual national defensive player coming from Liga MX Femenil. Enciso played college footy at the University of Arizona before beginning her professional career. Her previous teams are FC Tucson and Club America. Enciso has not yet been called up to the senior Mexican women's national team.
A lot of competition there, I feel like, over the years at those outside backs. I like the signing.
Is she more of a left back or a center back?
Outside.
She's a left fullback.
Yeah, she's gonna have to play left back.
I don't like that signing at all. You're getting a player that basically didn't get any playing time at America. She pretty much rode the bench the entire time over there. It's going to be a challenge for her. Maybe she steps it up, but to me, you're not really truly reinforcing that
It made us tied.
So to me, that's a position you really going to have to go and get a true left fullback that can deliver on that in that spot, especially since you're getting rid of Ana Cesa and you got rid of Chiquis, Natalia. So she went off to Chivas, so now you're depleted again at that spot, because we definitely don't want to see that one tall player play. So to me, that's to me that's a spot that they really need to look at, because I don't see her being the answer at the left fullback position.
You guys
I
think
think
she's bait to try to get Sendejas?
That's what originally I thought, that maybe that was going to be some kind of bundle, or
no
Yes,
way.
move.
I mean,
Bro,
it's
bro,
hard
I
to
what is
believe
mean,
what is this?
America would
Douglas
give up
Luiz
Sunday.
and his girlfriend going to Juventus last year? Is that situation all over again?
Crazier things have happened.
Diving more into what you said, Lou. So my first like reaction from the signing was obviously Nati Villarreal leaving. Was not a fan, or Pedro was not a fan of Nati Villarreal. She was casted to the end of the bench, which led Jimena Lopez to play. That told me a lot throughout the season, even though I thought that Nati Villarreal, throughout her career at Tigres, played well. Obviously, not the best outside back at that position in the league, but someone serviceable with a lot of back and forth. Could that position been improved right there and then throughout the season? Absolutely. So I think it's more about the different liking of the type of player. I think he's going for more physical players to play the physical outside back with Anika Rodriguez. And I think, honestly, she's coming to start. I don't think she's coming to the bench. Do I necessarily agree with that? Not entirely. I do like the signing. It's a different type of back that you're going to place at that position that we haven't seen, in a while. I think I can't recall an outside back with a lot of back and forth. She's obviously got a few highlight reels, being able to have good speed and agility in the back. Is she, like you mentioned, she doesn't have a lot of playing time over the last year or so at America Femenil. So I think it's a challenge. She's going to come in again with a championship-like team and see if she's up for the task. But I think immediately, not necessarily the best comment here, but I think she's the best left back that we have currently on the roster. But that doesn't say much, obviously. And like you said, I think it's probably now the most or the weakest position that we have on the whole starting 11.
And what you
Strange.
guys mentioned, I think that she might take this as a revenge season. This is her opportunity to, finally show herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a possibility. I mean, sometimes it's what you need. But it does concern me that she was never able to take over Karen Luna's spot, which is a player we got rid of. Because she couldn't break the starting lineup. So I guess between her and Jimena Lopez, yeah, I prefer her. So I'm with you there, Arnoldo. Like, she would come in to take the starting spot over her, at least in my opinion.
It is a
Uh,
little strange though, even if like Nati Villarreal wasn't, say it, Alfred, spit it out. Alfred, I'm sorry.
no, I was just, obviously, we're over here with the dual screen action. Al Ali has missed the fifth goal like at least 5 times now, like sitters, like incredible how they're missing, but it's a great game.
I was gonna say it is strange to me though that even though Nati Villarreal was not maybe of the liking of Pedro and the coaching staff, it's a homegrown player. It's someone that really wasn't going to cost you much. I think you could have kept her and improved the position in a much better way without having to get rid of her and bringing in a player that obviously has roots to America and America Femenil, as well as the men's side, dating Alejandro Sendejas. Even though it's professional, it's still I think throughout the years of her time there, she definitely took in being a fan of the club in general, and not just the camaraderie as a team. So I think that position could have been improved in a different way, and you could have kept Nati Villarreal as depth, or like that quality of being a homegrown player. Like we saw in Three Girls comment here, Nati over Jimena. Definitely something that I can agree on as well. So that's, for me, that's the only like odd part about it, is like you got rid of a player with roots to our club who probably never would have been questioning effort, being a fan of the club. And it's just like on the men's side, I think Chuy Garza is players like that are always going to hold and go above and beyond with effort for our club.
Well, as down as we are
Also
on that
just tied
side.
4-4.
Oh wow. Okay, so that
Dude, I feel like we're watching an NBA game as opposed to a soccer game.
I mean, I'm not even sure who moves on right now. I think with Porto
It's
tying, I think
Palmeiras
they
and
might move
Miami
on
that
instead of
move on at this
Palmeiras.
point. It's Palmeiras and Miami at this point because they both have 5 points.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, as down as we were on that signing, or as we are on that signing, I think we can all agree that this last signing that the ladies have made is one that we're all particularly excited about, especially you, Edgar.
That is right. I was waiting for this moment.
Say
So,
he got
Maria-
his mustache just to show off to her.
Not at all. Not at all.
Dress to
But
impress, bro, or shave to impress.
shape to impress.
He's got a 4D Kano van too, ready to go, bro.
I've got the
I'm
tuxedo
surprised he
press.
didn't come out with this Tejano hat. I'm surprised he didn't come with the Tejano hat, man.
Como los Tigres del Norte.
I should have. But if you haven't guessed it yet, Maria Sanchez has been signed. She needs no introduction. La Bombi returns home. And a little bit of a recap on her career. 2019, drafted 15th overall by the Chicago Red Stars in the NWSL College Draft. 2020, joined Chivas Guadalajara in Liga MX Femenil, scoring 5 goals in 25 matches. 2021, moved to Tigres, winning the Clausura 2021 championship and scoring 5 goals in 3 playoff matches. And then from 2022 to 2024, she was on a contract with the Houston Dash, became the highest paid player in NWSL history at the time with a $1.5 million contract. And in 2024, she was traded to the San Diego Wave.
Dreaker putting it up perfectly here. La Bombi is back home. And
Wild.
my thoughts on it are, I'm just going to repeat what Arnoldo said in our group chat earlier today. Maria got her dreams accomplished, got paid, and now comes back. Great to have her back.
Bro, that's like, to me, has been the wildest takes to like see today, is talking, like coming across people like talking in regards it's a setback in her career. Like, what setback? She left for 4 years after, accomplishing her dream, which was 1, played professional soccer, 2, take care of her family through the means of playing her professional soccer, 3, playing at an all-Mexican club with a lot of background support, which is Chivas, 4, winning a championship at Tigres, beating one of the, teams that invest fully into the league, which is America, with an amazing performance, by the way. I got chills watching the video when she scores in that semis today in the introduction. 5, goes to the NWSL to increase her level of play and compete with higher talent. 6, gets the best contract at the time for women in that league. And, it's just a true representation of or dreams and aspirations for girls or young girls growing up in the Houston community and in the whole Mexican community, and then lives the life in San Diego for a short term and comes back home to get paid, decently. And while money was not even the actual like factor in this, I think it's just the time that she chose to come back at 29 years old. And I'm seeing like people saying that it's a setback while I just presented all those things that happened throughout the course of the last 6-7 years. It's ridiculous it just comes down to it's a popular player, a special talent coming to a team that not many people like, and all for the right reasons or wrong reasons, whatever way you look at it, because we're a successful team.
It's called jealousy.
Thing is that if she would have gone to Chivas, they wouldn't be saying it's a setback.
But why are we so stuck? Like,
it's only
Mexico,
because they come to us.
But my thing is like, why are we stuck? Because it also comes down to the men's side as well. Like, how do we get so stuck? Like, we are such a powerful like potencia del mundo, bro. Like we're gonna win the World Cup, like this next one on the men's side or the next one on the women's side. Like, it's a process. Like, you know what I mean? And like, I just don't understand how people like get so caught up in like, oh, it's a setback, or oh, like she made the wrong decision. Like, we all live our own choices, right? And we have that choice by living and walking on this earth. This lady accomplished so much already, and we're trying to decide something with her that like doesn't even come across her mind. Like, you know what I mean? It's so crazy, like, and absolutely sometimes bonkers the fact that people get into that type of like argumentative or takes online or just in their own heads, like, in their own privacy. It's just bizarre to me.
And not to
Actual hate.
mention that according to FIFA, we're a top 10 ranked team in the world, and a team that has aspirations to keep moving up and you know become bigger. And so, it's just, to me, it's just complete jealousy. But we're gonna enjoy it because we needed a player like her, as Themby has shown last season. She has a lot of ups and downs. She could be fantastic, and then be terrible at times. And so I think the competition's gonna help Themby out, and it's also going to help us out in case of injuries, right? We're going to now have a player that we can rely on, and then another one that can sit on the bench, probably Themby maybe on the bench, and now you can manage their minutes better and be able to take on different competitions and maybe go make deeper runs in the liguilla. So to me, it's just a win-win for everybody. It's great for Maria, and it's great for us. I think we needed a player like her to be able to help Owaye out, who has basically carried this team for the last 3 or 4 years already. So I think that's also important.
Speaking of Ovalle, that was going to be my point. Future planning, because with Ovalle's impending departure in about 6 months, you needed somebody in the attacking flanks to kind of not necessarily replace her, because Ovalle is going to be very hard to replace, but at least to help out with her production that she'll leave behind. I think she will help out with that a lot, and also just like a face of the team, right? Like Ovalle in all means is the face of the team because she is the best player. She's the face of our league. Let's just keep it a buck. And now you bring back Maria to kind of help fill that void too. Win-win for everybody.
In a perfect world,
We
what is the easiest replacement that you could have possibly found for Jackie Ovalle? The next closest thing to her.
Yep.
Because arguably at one point, Maria Sanchez was considered or rated a higher player.
Yep. Absolutely.
To
The-
me,
the-
basically, Tigres Femenil did what Tigres Varonil should have done with Carioca by bringing in his replacement 6 months before he left.
Yeah.
The most like awesome thing about it is that you're not so forced to play a certain way now, because what Maria brings to the table is a player that can play out wide on either side of the flanks, can also tuck in and be creative with the ball. And I mean, even though she didn't have quote unquote the most productive, last year after the trade, she still raised her level of play by playing in a more competitive league. And I think the technical ability is never going to be doubted. But I think now the tactical ability is the thing that I'm excited to how she's going to put that on the field. And hopefully, the coaching staff, even though it was the first 6 months, steps up to the plate. And, having this addition of Maria gives us a ton of ways we can play. We can play more direct when you have Themby, Ovalle. You can play a little bit more possession when you have Ovalle and Maria with Jennifer, both Jennifers down the middle. So I think it gives us so much tactical flexibility and approach to play games.
Absolutely. Big win for everybody. Big win for the team, for morale, for the fans, marketing. I mean, it's in every way, shape, and form. That's such a great signing to have her back. All right, let's talk about some exits to the team. We've talked about Nati already. Montoya's Montoya's also gone to Chivas, if I remember correctly.
Both.
We've talked about Ana Diaz a little bit. We haven't talked too much about Nayeli Rangel, who's also due to leave, but we don't know her next destination yet. Ana Cesa, which I think is the most surprising and the most concerning of all those departures. Who knows where she's going to go next? Solis also on the way out, and then obviously there was a report that came out a few weeks ago from Vladi over at TUDN that Ovalle will probably only be here until the end of the calendar year, and then she's gone. with the teams linked to her being, I think, Washington, West Ham, and Real Madrid. So we'll see what happens there. But I think we got to talk about Cesa and just the fact that kind of really strangely she's on her way out when she's a really important part of the back line. Lou?
Couple questions though, Dennis, before we get into the Ana Cesa. I want to ask Lou. What does he make of Ana Diaz departing? And two, what scholarship would he prefer? The Eduardo Tercero or the Fernando Elizondo scholarship?
I would go with Fer Elizondo, bro. I think she's funnier, and she has like more connection with a lot of the players. I think she's like a lot more involved than Tercero, in my opinion.
Bro,
She's more charismatic.
Eduardo Tercero might be the Tigre mascot, bro. For all we know.
Are they competing? I mean, who's played more minutes at Tigres? Like
Fair.
I mean,
Fair,
seriously, both of
yeah.
them.
Fair.
I'm super surprised, man. Like, nothing against her, but her time has passed. Like, it's a very replaceable.
She leaves,
position.
Mayor leaves, so.
But anyways, I was just trying to add some comic relief there. But Ana Diaz and Nayeli Rangel, I think I saw a rumor that, Saudi Arabia, possibly.
The pizza.
But Lou answered my question. I digress. You guys can discuss Ana Cesa.
To me, I hope that move is due to personal reasons on Ana Cesa's part and not because Pedro Loza doesn't want her. If Pedro Loza doesn't want her, it speaks bad about him as a coach. Because how do you not find a position for a player that can play multiple positions? Like, she could play left fullback, she could play center back, she could play holding mid. And to me, that was a player that got completely wasted under Mila, got wasted under Pedro Loza. So to me, that's a big blow. I think she should have been the starting left fullback the entire season, and somehow we ended up with Jimena Lopez. That troubles me. The fact that you're a coach and you say, you know what, I'd rather play Jimena Lopez at left fullback when you have Ana Cesa available. So that's a concern to me. So hopefully this move is because she wanted out and she wants to be somewhere else, in which case I respect it, right? If you feel as a player like you're going to be wasted under this coach and you want to be somewhere else, I respect that move. But if it was Pedro Loza saying to the front office, hey, we got to move her, I have no use for her, then that's something that concerns me.
How much of a factor do you think went into play with Natalia Collins' rise of play and inclusion onto the team in the starting 11, as well as Farmer getting minutes at the center back position and doing well, and now being a national team player?
I think in Pedro's eyes, it was probably a big factor because he doesn't see her as a left fullback. So now she's having to compete with Farmer
Farmer as center back.
And Espinosa and, Ferral, which is it's a tougher position to break into, right? Natalia Collin sort of started kind of, as she got minutes, started to look a lot better, which wasn't a surprise to me. I think she's a player that can also play at two spots. You could play her at center back. You could probably play her as a holding mid, which I think she would do a lot better than Delgado at holding mid, in my opinion. But Pedro Loza just doesn't seem to want to experiment with certain players, because I say that with certain players because he used Mané Gonzalez, who is a center forward, as a wingback, as a fullback. And so you're willing to do that with the kids, but you're not willing to do it with more polished players. It's just weird to me.
I think adding on to that, I think that also the fact that she was I think it's more to personal reasons. If I had to guess, I think that she came on not knowing exactly what her life was going to be, and I think that something must have happened, not necessarily bad or good. I think it's just a personal decision where she probably chose that maybe moving on was probably for the best. At least that's what I would like to think. But also, with what we said about Farmer, Natalia Colling, Ferral, Gaeta Espinosa, you have 4 players that can play the center back position there. I think it's also about the depth. Where else can we get a national or outside foreign player to come in and add some depth? Definitely the midfield. You have aging players there in Mayor, Jenny Hermoso. You have Alexia Delgado, who was a player that was very criticized on this pod and throughout many fans this past season. Didn't really have the best season there. Obviously, Mari Carmen is coming back, so that's going to add some challenge there to the position. So I think it's also a way that you can improve elsewhere with a foreign spot. And I think that with the departure of Nayeli Rangel,
Foreign
that
spot.
indicates to me that we're going to get a center mid player and possibly, maybe an outside back, like, we mentioned as a position in need.
That would be great if they do go out and get an elite left fullback and a holding mid. That would be fantastic.
Or even a holding mid and a forward, for all we know. That fits the needs of or his style of play that he wants to implement. Because that's the one thing that I wasn't very as I reflected at towards the end of the season, like he played a certain way when he first arrived, and then he went to another way as the end of the season. So I think it clashed his ideas, and I think it was due to personnel. And I think that whatever he's got going on in his head, I think that he's building the team the way that he wants to build it, with the natural transition of revamping the team, like we've talked about over the last couple of seasons now.
That dang America game, bro. Keep telling y'all. That was the game he decided to randomly switch up everything, and then our season went to
regular season, right?
Yep, went to poop
on the
after
road. Yeah,
Yep.
it make that the links.
Yep.
The midfield, I think, to me has been the most concerning. You just can't continue to play with Mayor and
Alexia.
and Hermoso and Delgado. Those
Yeah.
three are killing you.
Yeah.
And honestly, like all three, I think you could replace. And I'm not saying get rid of them. I'm just saying you could upgrade improve those positions quite a bit, and you need to improve it because we're entirely too slow. Where we were getting killed by faster teams like America Femenil, for example.
Yep.
They have a field day with us because they've got so much more team speed.
Yep.
Having all of those comments and feedbacks put on the table, what do we think it's going to be the starting lineup as of today?
Ceci,
Really?
Anika, Farmer, Greta. I think he's going to go with Ferral at fullback. Delgado, holding mid. 2 attacking mids, Hermoso and Mayor. Wings, Ovalle and Maria Sanchez. And then I think he goes with. I hope he goes with Corginali up top.
I do too.
And then Ordóñez can be your backup. I wish he would get away.
Dude, how confident are you in that lineup? On a scale of 1 to 10.
Are you saying confident that's what I think it'll be, or confident as I like it? Because I don't like that lineup, bro.
Oh, you don't like it?
No, I do not.
I do.
I think we're still too slow. We're way too slow in that midfield, and so now your midfield is split. So what that causes is that anytime you attack, you're open to the counter, and they don't have the legs to be able to play that transition D, and so you're gonna get killed by it works against the Mazatlans of this world, but you're gonna get killed against the top teams.
All right, now spin it to me the other way. Why do you think that'll be?
I just think Pedro is kind of married to that lineup. I don't know, man. I've heard for a long time that there's like a lot of players imposing certain things on the manager, And I don't know. I'm starting to kind of believe that it could be true, bro. That there is some becadas,
There's
that there is
players
some of that going
imposing
on.
Jimena Lopez.
Nah, I would think it's more along the lines of the midfield.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like certain positions, obviously not the entire 11, but
Edgar, what do you think? You make any changes to his lineup?
I think that's very, very accurate as far as what Pedro would be. The only one I agree with Riedger. I had Itzel as the starting goalkeeper.
Yeah, I would differ. I would agree with it. You too.
I think
if we're not gonna use Ceci, man, we should get rid of her.
Bargaining chip.
Yeah, why not?
I agree.
I think if everybody's healthy, let's forget Pedro for a second. If everybody's healthy, I personally would drop Delgado from the starting lineup. I would put Greta and Ferral back as your center back duo. Okay, we'll worry about left back later. I would have Farmer and Mari Carmen in the midfield. I don't know if it would work, but I like that because of youth.
I like that too.
Speed. I just think that works better. To me, in my head, it works better. Yes. Physicality.
All right, Coach Garmin, spit him out.
I don't know who'd start in like the advanced midfield role. I guess Mayor. I don't know. I don't love that, but sure, why not? Or you run 4-4-2 and you have those two be the base. You have Ovalle and Maria on the wings, and then you run Ordonez and Jennifer. I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing ideas out there. But I think that should be the midfield. I don't think Delgado should be the starter consistently, at least right now. She needs to earn her spot back.
Okay. What you got, Alfred? What are you thinking?
Need to bring in the Chata Hernandez. No, I'm just kidding.
Bro, she's on the squad. She's on the squad.
Yeah. No, I actually agree with Dennis. I really like, his proposition in the midfield. I still don't know about up top. I don't like Mayor. I honestly have not liked her, for the past maybe couple years. So I would definitely put Cordinali as kind of like a false nine or that volante ofensivo. And then, up top, then you have, options. Maybe even try with Ovalle as a striker, and then you're able to put Maria and Tembi. I don't know. I would just mess with
Ovalle as a 10? Maria as a 10?
I'm gonna give you mine. So I got Ordonez starting right off the bat. I got Jennifer Cordinali behind her. I got Maria and Ovalle on the wings. I do like that pairing of Farmer. Did you say Mari Carmen, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, I like that. In the back, I go right back. I go Anika Rodriguez. Unfortunately, I think this is the season that Ferral goes to the bench. So I'm going Colin and Greta, and then I'm going, not on liking, but I know that's what he's got to mess up one or two out of the selection. So I'm going Enciso there at the left back, and then Itzel.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hate that.
I think we got.
If he's gonna mess up, he's gonna put Jimena Lopez.
I think we got a glimpse of Ferral finally not having to be even the word forcibly included is not the best, but I think now there's players that show a couple of different things that we were not used to that still also look good, like Farmer playing there, Natalia Colin, and then obviously what hurt her was playing, and having bad games playing as an outside back.
Yeah, she's not a fullback. Not at all.
She didn't do very bad at the beginning. When she first started getting included there, I actually liked the move there because I thought the idea was better possession out of the backs where she can tuck into that defensive mid role and help distribute. But it ended up like changing or backfiring because Tembi would then not play out wide. She was playing forward, and Ana Diaz was the one playing out wide. So didn't really quite get that. Anyways, I think Edgar left us a comment before he left.
Oh, yes, he did. Time for my departure. Tell the fans I'm pro Correa and Borja isn't bad, but we can do better. Okay. We'll remember that for when we talk about the men here in a second. Do we know when Mari Carmen is coming back? Do we have like an official timeline that has been put out?
When did she tear her ACL?
Before the final last year.
No, it was like early in the
No, it was in
season.
the preseason. No.
Yeah, it was super early.
I don't remember.
August,
That links.
around August sometime.
I would say she's going to be ready for the first game.
I sure hope so. We need
That
it.
injury for an athlete is anywhere from 6 to 9. I think women take a little longer than that. So closer to a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope so, man. Who's our first game against? I forgot the schedule already.
I don't know. We'll break
Good
it down
question.
in another pod.
Fair. All right, is that it for feminine stuff? We've caught up on everything.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Sholas is the first game, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. You would think we'd win, but under this current regime, you never know. Okay.
Actually, Toluca.
Toluca.
Yeah. Let Alfred transition us.
Yeah. Mr. Second Hand.
No,
of the
we're good,
outline.
man. Mm-mm.
You want me
Alright.
to do it?
All I did was put bullet points.
Okay, fine. I'll do it.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Okay, so to the men's side, we have a few extensions, 2 new players. Well, one for sure already in, and then one that's basically done, and then a lot of rumors. So let's start with the old guard. One last ride for Guignac. He has signed his 1-year extension, as we all figured he would, and so has Nahuel. But Nahuel has an extension option for a 2nd year, where Guignac does not. Like, this is it for APG. Like,
Yeah.
it would be a miracle if he plays beyond this year. Like, this is genuinely it. So, so there's that. Nahuel, probably another 2 years, which makes the next thing that I'm about to say very interesting is that we signed this kid from FC Dallas. I didn't even know this kid existed. I live in Dallas. I didn't even know this kid existed on the FC Dallas team. Antonio Carrera, who is probably going to be like the 4th or 3rd ranked goalkeeper in the team, or string goalkeeper in the team. Before we get to any of the other stuff, let's kind of go with those, especially the first 2. Are we all? I assume we're all good with APG's extension just being 1 year and that's it. Nahuel's extension being 1 + 1. Any other crazy opinions, thoughts about that? Chat, help us out here too. But you guys here, any other crazy thoughts about that?
He's the second best in shape 40-year-old on the planet after Ronaldo. So I'm good with that. The only thing I dislike, and I dislike it a lot, it's being very shady by the board and how they're handling it. It's almost like they're afraid of what the people are gonna think, because I think at this point I think it's more realistic at 70-30 in agreement of him being re-signed. And I think that's something that you should have just handled a while back. I think it's been leaked already that the extension is happening. There's no doubt in my mind it's definitely happening. I'm confident in that. I definitely agree with it. He's the reason why we can have this podcast. He's the reason why people go online and shit talk, support. He definitely transformed our club into a very successful team and a team to be talked about in their entire continent. And I think he well deserved it beyond, his playing attributes. I think off the field, he's a big asset to the socioeconomic status of Monterrey and the whole Nuevo León state. So by all means, the king of the north, well deserved.
And he's the only reason why Aurelian Chulomeni knows anything about Mexican football, even though the guy thought he played for Rayados. So there's that.
Dude,
I
but
gotta
that's,
say,
I honestly think that it was just a mistake because of the city.
yes,
Because
exactly.
Yeah.
It just, obviously Guignac, he goes to France, visits his friends, visits his family or whatever, talks to his peers in the soccer community and tells them, I live in Monterrey.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
I think, no moment, Chouameni probably doesn't even know who Rayados is.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
if not, he would have used Rayados.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Lou, your thoughts on the old heads?
Just some words for Cora Isiorda. Next time you talk about Gignac, wash your mouth, son.
Yeah.
Don't be talking about the GOAT like that. Crazy.
Facts. Alfred?
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, I agree with it. I would hope that at the end of this year, he already has like his positioning lining up, to go to the front office to take Gerardo Torrado's spot, or something of the sort where he's Córame la pela, where he's gonna be, obviously our liaison with new signings and just the rebuild of this team and the future going forward. I see potentially him being one day the president of our club. So hopefully he sticks around. Hopefully he stays on. And I'm pretty sure this was prolonged a little bit longer because of his injury that he had this year. Maybe it would have only been like 6 more months had he not been injured. But he deserves to go out on a good note. Obviously there's people that were wanting him to be, to not be re-signed and for this, to be it. But how could his legacy end like that? With no final game, no goodbye games, or no farewell season, pretty much. So he deserves it. He even deserves a statue. So we got to get working on that.
And I think it's like you want it to almost be like how Carioca's last 6 months were, right? You want this to me, right? At least the next 6 months to the end of the year, like you said, I think that was the plan. You end that on a calendar year, completes his tenure with the club. But I think that he can still contribute, and he's still a leader. He's still an example. I mean, you see it through his workouts. The dude's still out here, busting his ass to be the best player in the league, even with the age being a factor. And I think the second 6 months will be more of a proper exit on the bench. Obviously, I still think he's gonna, not gonna be the starter. I think the position could obviously be improved, and I think that we obviously are looking at bringing a starting forward. But the last 6 months could be what Carioca was, is, coming in, playing 10, 15 minutes if needed, and be an option, in his case, being an attacking threat, and, maybe coming in to be a Damian Alvarez, like he was at the end of his career with us. So, by all means,
Something I would love that if we lift another trophy, that he gets handed the trophy, to lift it. Like that's the image that we're missing.
Yep.
Yeah, bro. Nando Guerreran can't carry the trophy when Andre Pierre and Nahuel are on the squad.
Yeah, no shot. I'm curious to see how Guido kind of manages him, especially these first few weeks of the season, when you have the league starting in a few weeks and then Leagues Cup kind of being in the middle of all of it, as opposed to having the month-long break like there was the last couple of years. I am really interested to see, one, is Gignac, I mean, he's training again. He's back in full training, but like, is he at 100% now and ready to go, or is he still going to need a little bit of time even after the season starts? Does he split time, like some games where he starts, some games where he doesn't, with Ibanez for the time being, if we just assume that Ibanez is staying, based on current situation? I am very curious to see how Guido handles that. I think that'll be one of the more interesting like parts of his like early coaching development, is how he handles this sort of aging superstar in his last hurrah, and his friend, not even just like hit the player on his team, like one of his best friends. Like, how does he handle that situation, with a team that desperately needs something going, because morale is pretty low on the men's side. So we'll see what happens. I'm curious to see how that all shakes out, but obviously for all the reasons, like, we're very happy that he re-signed. And same with Nahuel too. I mean, despite his age, like, he is still
our best player.
Yeah, and he's still a top 3 keeper in the league. I mean,
top 2 and not 2.
Yeah. I mean, there's an argument, right?
That's
Like,
the reason why we still even had hopes that we could potentially, pull a run last season.
Yep.
He was the only reason why
Yeah.
we had hopes.
that first leg against Toluca, especially, like he was the reason why we were still in that game before it all fell apart in leg 2.
Yep.
So, and even in the Cruz Azul semifinal in CONCACAF. So, by all means, great stuff. Now, this FC Dallas kid, what's the point? Like, we don't need another. I mean, unless Felipeau's on his way out, and there's been no indication of him being on his way out. So, like, I mean, like,
And we still have Tapia.
are we just stockpiling young keepers at this point, despite the fact that we're potentially keeping Nahuel another 2 years? Like, I don't understand the process behind that decision.
My theory,
Torrado's got a fever, and the only prescription is more goalkeepers.
Hey,
my theory is that we definitely have some sort of arrangement with Dallas, because if I'm not mistaken, Anthony Ramos, isn't he American? Edgar probably can contribute to this, and I'm pretty sure he's from the Dallas area, which was another keeper that we brought over.
yeah.
But didn't he come out of the LA Galaxy or LAFC system?
I can't recall, to be quite honest with you, but there's 2 U.S.-based goalkeepers that we had. Maybe it was the one that departed last season. I know Edgar definitely knows. When we had 4 goalkeepers, it was Nahuel before Tapia arrived. It was Nahuel, Felipe, and these 2 young keepers. I think one of them was Anthony Ramos, and then there was another one. Was it Delgado? I'd have to do my research on it, but I'm sure if Edgar's watching, he could probably contribute.
Ramos is from Galaxy.
SoCal.
Yeah, he came from LA Galaxy too.
What's the other one? That there was another young goalkeeper. I know that you guys remember. There was 2 of them.
I don't remember.
It was Anthony Ramos.
For some reason, Delgado
Arturo
does.
Delgado.
Yeah, this does ring a bell. Yeah, that's the one.
Arturo Delgado.
Do we find all the Mexican American goalkeepers that start with an A?
And then we had
Antonio,
and then
Arturo.
before that we had Ochoa too. Remember we had Ochoa, the Mexican American goalkeeper who's now at one of the LA teams. I think he's with LAFC. And he
I vaguely remember him.
Yeah, he was also. There's got to be some sort of like arrangement, bro. Like it doesn't make no sense to bring a player. This kid's never gonna play at Tigres. This kid's coming in to be deft, and probably play with the youth squad.
Yeah, on the under 23s.
He's not even like when I saw that signing, I'm like, and I saw people like spin their heads. I was like, why are we bringing this? Like, dude, he's not even considered for the first. That's not a first team signing for me.
Yeah,
like he's like literally to the side. Has nothing to do with what we got going on. Felipe Rodriguez still has 6 months left on his contract, if I'm not mistaken, and Tapia will be gone whenever he has to leave. I think that no goalkeeper that's currently on the roster is going to be the starting goalkeeper. Nahuel Guzman is going to be the starting goalkeeper for the next 2 years. Tapia will go back to America if they choose to buy him again. But ultimately, I just don't see him waiting another 2 years on the bench for Nahuel Guzman to be the starter.
he will be key for the Youth Dallas Cup. Says. Hey, if we have an agreement with FC Dallas, can we do a swap where we give them Brunetta and they give us Lucho Acosta, or we take their striker because their striker actually scores goals, unlike our striker. That's not Gignac. I would like that agreement.
I just like, dude. I can't even recall. Did the team actually announce the player that we signed him, or was it all like on all different pages?
Honestly, I don't know.
I don't even think the team announced it. Like it's one of the ones that you.
And he's not in San Diego right now or wherever they're having preseason.
Yeah.
No, he did. He made the trip. Yeah, he made the trip.
Traveled.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did they actually like the Twitter account or any of the social media accounts announce him?
Edgar, we need the Rio Grande plate back.
Yeah, bro.
No, facts.
Pescadito Ruiz, bro. Back in the day.
Bro.
Don't hate on the Rio Grande Cup,
bro.
man.
Yeah,
bro. We won that.
Facts.
Remember, FC Dallas had FC Dallas had the Tigres base
Here we
jersey at
go.
one point.
FC Dallas confirmed. That's right. FC Dallas has said something about it. 'cause I
Okay,
saw
what
their
does FC
shirt.
Dallas do to the team that that I'm telling you, that's an under the water or under the table signing.
He was in the pickleball thing they did today. That looked fun. I can't lie.
He's not coming for the first team. He's just coming to the overall roster size.
Yeah.
So let's not worry about that goalkeeper. Like, this kid's not gonna have anything to do with us.
Facts. Okay, and last but not least, we've been talking about this for the last few episodes, but it's worth a mention again now that we have the "Here we go" from Fabricio Romano. Angel Correa will be a Tigres player unless something drastic really happens.
I want Alfred to start on this first.
Yeah. I've been waiting for
Hi.
this since yesterday. Talking about, or the other day, talking about with the eyeball emoji. Well, I've got thoughts about this. I'll save this for the pod. Your time's
Just
now,
teased us.
buddy.
He teased us, bro.
Let it out.
No. Finish up telling everyone about Correa.
Well, the fee was reported like a month ago, and I don't think it's been re-reported again. So I guess it's still going to be around 6 million euros. I'm not totally sure.
I saw 9.
That would probably make more sense. But now that Atletico Madrid is out of the Club World Cup, which is hilarious, by the way, that they won the game today that they played and still are not advancing, Correa should be joining the team sooner than later, but I imagine he'll have at least a couple of weeks of vacation before he joins. I would suspect he's not going to be in those first couple match day squads. Probably closer to end of July, like when we get to Leagues Cup is when I bet he'll actually
Leagues Cup.
get acclimated with the team. So, Alfred, go ahead.
Well, I mean that last point you made just kind of adds on, kind of my doubts. I just, I think he's a great player, guys. Don't get me wrong. I think Angel Correa is a great player. From seeing him in these Club World Cup matches, I mean, he's got talent. He definitely does. He can hide the ball, between his feet. He's got good dribbling skills. My big questions are, pretty much the questions I put in this bullet hole. What is his role actually going to be in the team? We've seen how, obviously in the past, the team has played, for a center, just a central attacker, just a number 9. Angel Correa is not a number 9, right? So he comes in as a second attacker. When was the last time we used, a second attacker? Maybe back in the Sobeys days, back in the Vargas days, right? And then I also figure, okay, well, what if he plays more of a winger role? And even Guido Pizarro, hinted at, he can play as a second striker and he can also play, in the winger. And I'm like, does he though? I'm looking at him, and how he's playing, and he tends to, just float around the box, towards the center, kind of find his way, to the edge of the box around the middle. I don't see him hitting the end line. I only saw him once, like in this game, he had once where he actually, hit the end line and he did a good cross. But aside from that, I mean, we're not seeing a Luis Quiñones type winger where he's just out in the corner, just waiting for that, through ball and just to sprint, out to the end of the box. He's not a Damian Alvarez, where he's carrying the ball, 60 meters, down the sideline, dribbling past defenders and then cutting back and scoring. He's not that type of player. And maybe if we're thinking, well, he could be played in a counter attack, sort of way where he's, he's up top, he retains the ball, or he's able to, spin around and get past his defender and then, head towards the goal. We don't play like that. Teams don't play us that way. He's coming to a team where the rest of the Liga MX team plays us with, 7 defenders in the back, 8 defenders in the back. Just wait for us. He's coming to a team that is the complete opposite of what Atletico Madrid is. Atletico Madrid is the type of team that defends very well and is opportunistic with their counter strikes, right? We're not like that. We don't play that way. We keep the ball. And yes, he's going to contribute in that, but I see that I think that he's going to be more of a Brunetta style player. And the way I see him, he's kind of like that. He's not going to run around, for 90 minutes. He's just not. He's going to be standing around in his position, waiting for the ball. He's going to obviously, help retain and create some of the attacking play, but he's not going to be that player that we need so urgently, whether as a center striker, number 9, or as a winger for the style of play that we have. So my big doubt is not exactly towards him as an individual and what he can contribute, but more as in what is Guido going to do? How is Guido going to change to fit this team around him? Because that's reality. If we're bringing this player on for the next 5 years, then we're thinking that the team is going to be built around this guy. But currently, the roster doesn't seem to be the type of roster that's going to be able to fit around his play style. So that's where all my doubts lie. And I'm afraid that after 6 months, if in 6 months, everybody's making a big deal about Angel Correa, and it just so happens to be that he's getting signed 10 years exactly on the dot after the Guignac signing. And everyone's almost trying to compare it to the Guignac signing, but he's not going to come and give us 15 goals on his first season like Guignac did. I highly doubt that. So I am afraid that after 6 months, everybody's going to be after him, or everybody's going to be signaling him that he wasn't the right purchase.
So bad scouting, you think, or more of a
I don't know.
Guido shared a locker room with them, knows what type of player he is, knows that attacking wise we were a little thin, and so you have an opportunity open.
Maybe just simply again bad planning from our front office, just like we had with Romulo, where we brought in a center defensive midfielder that's his role and that's what he plays, but he plays so differently to the type of center defensive midfielder that we needed.
I think it was an opportunistic move. Free agent.
Definitely. I mean, obviously, it's a great opportunity, but
free agent, you calm the waters with a signing, a big signing, if you want to call it that way. I think I tweeted out for all you Dragon Ball Z fans. If Diente Lopez and Lucas Larayan fuse together, you get Angel Correa. I think he has tendencies that can play, more of that second forward role. But you mentioned he's got a bunch of skills on the ball where he can play in an attacking mid role. But truthfully, I think he's coming in easily, without a doubt, to play that center forward spot with Nico Ibanez or with another signing that we make if he departs. There's no indication to me that Nico Ibanez is going to depart, especially if Gignac doesn't contribute as people are expecting to contribute, or at least from a business standpoint, where you gave him the 1-year deal, even on top of like his legacy and whatnot, and how that is ending. I think that Nico Ibanez is just an insurance policy. And you still have 2 foreign spots to bring in on board, one with Angel Correa, and which leaves you either for that left back spot or another attacking playmaker through the outside, or as a forward to come and be the starter. And then you have 3 forwards to take on the entire season from here to the next CONCACAF. She got Lou.
Yeah, I know that brain spinning. I know that look on Lou's face.
Well, it's just
give me hopes, bro. I need to hear it.
He fits perfectly in with Pizarro's system, bro. Like picture this. Like picture a highway that has 5 lanes, right? And your central lane. So there's 2 on the two outsides, and then a central one, right? In your central lane, you got Nahuel, you got your sweeper, which is probably Purata. Let's say Purata. You got a holding mid, which we still don't know who that's going to be. You got Brunetta, and then you got Nico Ibanez, right? And on your outsides, the outside lanes are purely dedicated to your wingbacks, right? So whoever that left wingback is that we go get, and then Javier Aquino on the right wing. So you're bringing in a player that doesn't have to worry about the wing. So now, if you think about it, if you've got Nico Ibanez, Brunetta right behind him, next to Brunetta, you're gonna have Gorriaran on one side and Correa on the other. And so to me, it's a really good pickup because now you've got a guy that can either play on that right interior, which is what they call it in Mexico, attacking mid, or on that left interior, attacking mid spot, and has on paper good players around him, right? You've got Gorriaran, you've got Brunetta. If we can just get anything out of those two, and obviously Nico has to be a lot better, right? He has to put away the chances he gets. I think you've got a really good attacking uh, tandem right there. You have speed, you have youth, you really have on paper you have everything you need to make it worthwhile. I think the only missing pieces now in Pizarro's system is you go get a really good holding mid. That Obed Vargas kid looks fantastic, man. If we could land that kid, that would be. But then there's also talks about Luis Chavez possibly coming in. So you're adding, you got the possibility of two really good holding mids there. And then now you're just looking for a left wing back. And I think that really turns you into a really competitive team. And now the workload on Nico is not as heavy. You're not as Nico Ibanez dependent as before because now you've got an attacking mid that can provide scoring as well. I liked Arnoldo's analogy that if you fuse these two players together, I think he's gonna be a lot like Edu Vargas was for us when he played alongside Gignac. That role where he's not really a nine, he's not really a winger, he's sort of in that outside the box area. He's gonna be able to help create chances. He's gonna help alleviate a lot of the problems Nico was having, which was he was getting tied up by the two center backs, and now he's got no chance, right? You tied up by the two center backs. Any cross that comes to him, they got it covered. So now you're forcing one of the opposing center backs to come out and defend Correa, which opens up a lot of space. It's going to open up space for Brunetta, for Gorriaran. I think it's a good. I mean, it's a big if, but if we can get a lot more out of Gorriaran and a lot more out of Brunetta, I think it's a really good pickup. But I'm with you. I mean, there is some
Skeptical.
concern. Yeah, there's some concern, right? Because the way Brunetta ended the season, if he plays like that next season, we're going to be in trouble, right? Because now you're placing all the load on Correa. And then how patient are the fans going to be with him if he's having to carry the team and, all the money you spent,
Well,
all
then
that
that
stuff, it starts to accumulate. But if you can get productivity out of those two, I think it's going to be a good pickup.
okay, but then that's where my question about expectation is. So like we're paying this guy, and he's gonna be what the highest earner in our team, and he's going to be signed for 4, if not 5 years.
5-year deal.
So
It's got to be 4 years with an option
This-
for a fifth.
right. So this means, by the numbers alone, that we're betting on this guy to be the future image of this team and to carry this team. Will he be able to carry this team? He's coming from the last 10 years being at Atletico Madrid, surrounded by so many stars where there was other players carrying the team. And he was just, an extra option. Now they're going to hand him the shirt and say, hey, you're the leader of this team. You're going to carry this team. So it's a big.
See, I'm not expecting him to come and be the leader of the team. I'm expecting for him to be a complement to a really talented complement to the whole buildup of a team. I think that
It goes back to what we were talking about a couple months ago or a month ago, that we have a team full of compliments.
yeah, for sure. And I think that more than ever, like it's been proven, like the starters that we had over the last 2 seasons are bench players. Cordova's a bench player. Linus is a bench player. Osiel is a bench player. Solid options if you bring them off the bench to give you the 20, 25 minutes that you need. Like any team would love to have those guys as options, but we had them as starters. And that's what, like, you know, what Lou talking about, like how the team is shaping up. Like that's where, you know, you bring a very talented left wing back and the game changes because now you have two talented right wing backs in Aquino and Garza who can play there. You have an excellent goalkeeper. Your backline wasn't very bad at all. For as much shade as Purata got, Purata had a good season. You know, Joaquin had a couple mistakes here and there, but he's nominated for the center back again. Oh, I'm sorry, not again. I meant to say another center back is nominated for the center back of the year because Gil Pizarro was last year in that position. Then you had Angulo, Angulo is one of the most serviceable players that we've had outside of Jorge Torres Nilo in the last 10, 15 years on our squad. So I think the team overall just needs a more revamp. And the defensive mid position is obviously, like Lou mentioned, somewhere like along the lines of Luis Chavez, Obed Vargas. We could be surprised in somebody else that is coming in. There's definitely 2 to 3 more signings coming on board. There's no question in my mind. Is it in an ideal scenario where it should have happened 3 weeks ago? Should have happened 3 weeks ago. But there's too many FIFA things that are happening. There's the Gold Cup. There's the Club World Cup. So it wasn't very feasible to expect signings immediately. Now, are other teams doing it? Yes, other teams are doing it. But it's not the type of players that we are looking for, at least from what we have set out the expectation to be for the club as a fan and as a board, I think, with the success it had. So I think to put an expectation that he's going to come in and be 10 goals and 5-6 assists, it's challenging. I think it's going to be more along the 8 goals and like 4 assist ratio, with Brunetta complementing the other 6 to 7 goals with 6 to 7 assists ratio of stats.
I'm not worried about Correa personally. Like, I'm not expecting him to be the leader like you guys are saying. But I also think that this is a guy who hasn't been a starter either for the national team or for his club in a very long time. Like, he's been a super sub for Atleti for years now. And I think the fact that he's going to come in now and be a starting level player, a 90-minute player again, I think that will do wonders for him regardless of how the system is set up. I think he's going to relish that opportunity. And I expect a lot of good to come out of that. Now, how will he fit? We'll find out sooner than later. But I'm not worried about him per se. It's just like you guys have mentioned, like, how is he going to fit? Probably, like Lou was saying, like, kind of the 2 underneath the striker is probably the best bet, because he's not, like, he can be a winger, but he's more, and at least from what I've seen him, he's way better centrally, where he kind of has like a free reign sort of role. That's kind of the spots where he's able to have the most success in, especially when he comes off the bench, or when he has come off the bench for Atleti over the last few years. And this is a guy who maybe he's not necessarily like the leader, but he comes from a club where they're notorious for coming back and stealing results, coming back and winning games, coming back and having clutch moments. Obviously not to the level of their neighbors in the city of Madrid, but like Atleti has that sort of gene in them too. I mean, he literally won them a Champions League game this past season with a late goal. So this is a guy that I hope will be able to sort of bring that spirit into the team, because honestly, if we're keeping it a buck, the players haven't been showing that over the last year, where there's been some real questions about their effort and their huevos, honestly. Like, just to keep it a buck, Lou said it great the other day in our big group thread, like, on tan los huevos. Like, this team has not shown that, frankly, over the last 15 months, ever since the end of Siboldi's tenure. So this is
Correa has the huevos?
I think so. I sure do. And I feel like that he will help lead in that department in some way, shape, or form. Hey, Jay! What up, boy? It's good to see you.
Trust your word, Dennis.
Christy Paisano, man.
I trust your word, Dennis. You're the leading expert here in European football, so Um,
As far as your point, Alfred, about teams, parking the bus on us. Yeah, that's a good, what, 12, 13 teams in the league that will do that to us, and we'll have to figure it out. But those are not the teams I'm worried about, because those are not the teams we're gonna face in Liguilla, right? So the Americas, the Cruz Azuls, those, the Tolucas, those type of teams, they're not gonna park the bus on us. Let's face it. So there will be
Okay.
room for him to roam, and there will be times where we're parking the bus and playing counter. So I think he'll have an opportunity in those big games to kind of use what he's learned at Atletico Madrid. So to me, that doesn't concern me as much, because the Mazatlans and those type of teams, I think, if we'll figure it out. We'll take care of it, and it's the teams that are more powerful that we need to be concerned with.
Well, you say that, and Cruz Azul definitely parked the bus in the Conca semis against
Yeah,
us.
and
So,
one little action, and we're in that CONCACAF final, and we
right.
could have been the champion.
but in the end, again, we're bringing this guy, and you guys are saying, no, he's not going to carry the team. We're paying him like he's going to carry the team. Can we at least expect that he's going to show up against the big teams? Because I don't want another Brunetta that shows up against Mazatlan.
I mean, we don't know that, bro. Like at the end of the day, like
Oh, but I'm not talking about predicting. I'm talking about expectation. Do we expect that?
Oh, I
I
100%.
don't.
I
I
100% do. I do personally.
I think he's going to be an 8 goals, 5 to 6 assists player.
I
Against
think
Mazatlan, Querétaros, Pueblas, and all
I
those.
think we're past the days, Alfred, of a team, a player carrying us, because it has been Gignac, right? It's been Gignac, or it's been Noel, and Gignac. We're never, well, I don't want to say never, but we're really far away from getting another guy like him on the squad. So I think it needs to be
No, but before
by
Gignac, we had a
committee.
Lucas Lobos. Before Lucas Lobos, we had, other players
Yeah,
who,
but
in the
think about
important
this.
moments, showed up. That's my question.
But
Where
think
will
about
he
it,
be the player that will
Alfred.
show up?
Like Lobos played with Damian. He played with Danilinho. He
No, no,
played with
no, no, no.
Hector
You're talking about
Mancilla.
you're talking about when he was champions. No, Lobos played
Well,
with Blas Perez.
that's
He
the
played with Piquin.
expectation.
He played with a whole bunch of scrubs, and he was like the only
Yeah,
one
but
showing
the
But
up.
we
league,
weren't winning championships.
the,
No, but
I
he was
mean,
showing up.
and the league wasn't where it's at now. Like
Right.
also, like there's much better soccer players in today's world. Like the game has changed. Like it was much slower pace. Like I think that, and that doesn't take away anything from Lucas, but I think overall, like you look at the I think he can have an excellent season. Brunetta had an excellent season for us. It was on the starting 11 for the season. Can we say he carried us? You can argue either way. Stats wise, he probably did, but big moments wise, he did not. And I think that's what, truthfully, like you're asking. You're asking if he's going to be the Gignac, he's going to be the Rafa Sobis when he first arrived. Where he's carrying the load of the production of the offense. But I think overall, I think I'm more team oriented. I think if you look at the Luca, big team oriented team, you look at Cruz Azul, big team oriented team, you look at America, big team oriented team.
yeah.
I think to me, it's all about putting the pieces together. And I'm still like set on like the defensive mid needs to happen, the left wing back position needs to happen. And after that, it's all on Guido Pizarro. Can he step up and be the coach that we think he can be, and we are wishing he can be? Because after that, he's had preseason, he's had some signings, and a player that he's coming in full vouching for and bringing in as a past teammate, and as a player that he thinks he's going to complement his system. So I think he is 2 pieces away from from actually putting that on him and setting that expectation. But I don't think he's going to come in and be the best player in the league, if that's what you're asking.
But he'll have more ganas than most of the team.
Because
And that
he's
means-
proven. He's
Yeah.
proven at all levels. Like there's nothing to question there.
Yeah.
And to be fair to the squad, we did have a lot of holes in the lineup, right? As tough as we were on the guys, there was a lot of holes. I mean, we didn't have a great wing back on the left. Carioca was aging, and we were kind of phasing him out, so we were not really playing with an established holding mid, a position that we've been notoriously good in. Bruneta slumped off. So I think if we can get 4 or 5 guys playing at a really good level, that makes us really competitive and add a good chance of competing for the league title.
But you do have, with all that being said, Alfred, I mean, you do have a solid point, right? Because it's like he comes in and then Sendejas is still one of the top 3 players in the league, and it's like, what the F? Where's Correa? So I definitely understand where you're coming from. I don't think, he brings the, like, I'm going to carry the team type player that, not necessarily that I'm looking for, but I think I'm wanting him to be.
AJ, repeating what you basically just said, the defensive midfielder demand the midfield, please be the engine for the squad.
We definitely need one.
The fact that there hasn't been a ton of noise around that, about even like any potential names, is really concerning to me. Because I mean, we're hearing names for striker, we're hearing names for other spots, but not for that is kind of
because it's going to be a Mexican player, bro.
Yeah. Luis Chavez, you think we'll land him?
I mean,
to me, it makes sense. Get him away from Russia.
If we don't land him, I'm not mad about it. But if we land him, it's like, okay, you got him. Go get the left wing back, and okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Would you rather have Chavez or would you rather have Obed Vargas?
Long term, Obed, obviously. Yeah. But I think that the most realistic option is Luis Chavez.
Yeah. He's probably cheaper too.
Yeah. You throw $5 million.
Yeah.
Easily.
I mean, what was the offer we threw out at Seattle for Vargas? 10 mil?
10 mil.
Sheesh.
And I was reading, I don't know if it was wrong, I don't know if it was clickbait or what, but there's some type of clause that because of whatever Russia situation they got going on, that any player can sign like a free agent.
Yeah.
So like, so like we don't even have to pay for him. Like,
no, because FIFA is not recognizing them, right? Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we just have to pay his contract, and it makes sense. I mean, the dude was in the academy, like it's a challenge. At the end of the day, it's like, psychologically, like, I played there as a kid. Like, they're willing to throw me some money. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Monterrey, and make them visible a year before the World Cup.
Bro, San Pedro Garcia is the wealthiest county in all of Central
and Latin America.
Anything low of the States. Dude, it's an easy sell. You got Cancun, 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Hey, we know you spent a lot of time down there recently.
Taquito de trompo every weekend.
Woo! Hey, did you this is random. Did you end up going to get that cheesecake?
I did not.
Nah, man, just wait.
I did not.
You literally
he goes every weekend, bro. He'll do it.
This dude literally called me and was like, "Bro, where's that cheesecake from?"
I went to another pasteleria. And I got a Carlota de Limón tres leches cake.
And was it Cati Pasteleria?
No. God, it was so
now
good,
you're gonna make
man.
me want to book a flight down there.
It was so good.
As delicious.
Going down there, there's a ton of food options. Like, I'm gonna go eventually check out your spot just because I'm a big cheesecake fan. But that Carlota de Limón tres leches cake was phenomenal. Jeez. And I'm not a big Carlota de Limón guy. Back to the important issue here, though. I think, truthfully, it's a Mexican player. So that's why it's not too much commotion around that, Dennis. I think that it's been done before where we pick up a national team player around this time also. I think the biggest thing at hand is moving the players that we have. Getting rid of your Fulgencio, getting rid of Bigon.
Well, the dead weight, bro.
Tercero. That's where it becomes like, what are we doing with these guys? We let Carioca obviously left. Diego Reyes left. That guy doesn't, like, he can stay or not stay, Alfred. He doesn't really contribute. You can play him on the what is it, the U23, and
my man's gonna be 35 still playing on the U23s.
Nah, his contract will eventually end, I think, after this year. Because we got him 2-3 years ago now. He's probably on a 4-year contract.
But that's my problem. We're paying a whole bunch of these players, 1 million here, 2 million here.
Que te duele, bro.
No. A whole bunch of players that have no role in the team. Why not have just youth players in those positions?
We're wasting money.
There were bad bets, though. It was a bad bet.
Oh, get rid of them.
It's bad scouting, Arnoldo, is what it is, bro.
bad scouting or like it's a. I mean, the guy had potential when he played in the U17 World Cup. He got hurt, he earned a contract in France, came back probably at a low price. That like he's a marketable player for the jersey. Like he doesn't hurt us. Where's my boy Pollito at when I need him? Like he doesn't hurt us.
Bro, you trying to sell us on Pisuto, bro? Come
No,
on,
I'm not
man.
trying to. I'm just
Nobody's
trying
over here.
I'm trying to sell you on the fact that he's not a concern. It doesn't matter. Like the guys we need to really get rid of is, to me, in order of business that needs to happen is Bigon has to go. And it's not because I don't like the personality of the player. It's because
Bigon at least contributes.
In what way?
What do you mean in what way? He's over the last seasons. He's come in. He's actually played. He's gotten a few goals in there. Tell me what has Pisuto done?
How many goals did he score last season?
I don't know. 2.
2.
Okay.
How many did Pisuto score in his whole time at Tigres?
I'm not trying to compare the two.
Here's the thing, Arnoldo.
Because we're saying, hey, we got to get rid of
you can't get rid of Bigon until you actually sign a holding mid, bro. Because
correct.
What do we have? Like Parra and him.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. But until we get rid of him, Tercero, and who's the other guy I said?
Fulgencio.
Yeah, Fulgencio too. But I don't think I'd mention him. Did I say Fulgencio?
Yeah, but I mean, Fulgencio's got to go.
Yeah, until you get rid of those 3 guys, like we're gonna be on the same boat because that means that 3 of those guys are sitting on the bench. Pisuto doesn't sit on the bench, so he doesn't matter.
He's just there for
the guy that was
the
playing
jerseys.
for Aquino when Aquino got injured. I think we're gonna end up keeping him.
Who?
You mean Garza?
No, the guy that was playing for Aquino instead of Garza.
Oh, you talking about Loroña?
Loroña.
I think we're gonna end up keeping.
No, but yeah, I mean, Loroña at least showed up. At least with Pizarro, he kind of like revived.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, we're talking all
we
this.
might still see the best of Loroña.
We're talking all this stuff.
Marcelo Flores is another one.
Yeah,
bargaining chip.
Vámonos. Bye. All this stuff that we're talking about, we're gonna end up with Parra being the holding mid starter for the whole season.
I don't hate
that.
Which I wouldn't mind.
And youth minutes. The rule change went up, so it's like an extra 50 minutes, 100 minutes.
It's an extra 100 minutes, and we have 2 less players who qualify for it. Like Ociel doesn't count anymore.
You need one,
and Tapia doesn't count anymore. So get ready to see more Chicha Sanchez, boys and girls.
And we got that center forward kid now too, who's actually training with the first team.
Diego Ramirez,
the one who cut his hair really ugly the other day.
Well, that was hazing.
Isn't he the one that Fulgencio injured last season?
I mean, it just goes back to the
Pisuto brings the orange slices on game days.
Something that doesn't matter besides adding vitamin C.
Oh my god!
Hey man, don't disrespect vitamin C. What's wrong with you?
Guys, I'm telling you,
guys don't die of scurvy, bro.
The formula lies in you have to get rid of those players that sit on the bench that don't contribute nothing.
No, facts. Do you guys want to guess?
That to me is concerning, Arnoldo, that we haven't been able to move these guys.
Yeah, bro.
Like, what's the holdup?
I was looking at
because we're talking about how we're waiting on signings because of the Club World Cup, because of the European market. What does that have to do with us uploading?
Yeah, nothing.
Nada
que ver. Yeah.
No, I came across 6 years. Tercero has been on the squad with this.
No, 7.
7 years, man.
That's ridiculous.
And I think he's played 7 games.
But we were willing to offset my boy Luis Quiñones out like he was.
There it is. There's the shout out.
Like he was not the guy leading the assist in our entire club history, bro.
I'm sorry, Luis Q.
He's still tied for the most assists in our history.
Alright.
And he just got signed or is getting signed by Millonarios back in Colombia, so he's going back home.
We were so easy and quick to push him out the door. The guy with the most assists in our club history, but we're willing to keep Eduardo Tercero on the squad.
We were fools, bro. We
really were. We got to take.
Bro, think about.
We got Antuna, bro. We got Antuna.
Think about. We would have had Luis Quiñones, bro. We wouldn't have to sing like Antuna.
Remember, y'all were hyping Antuna. Y'all were hyping Antuna when he came. Yeah, cover your eyes, Luke.
There might be a tweet out there saying
I was hyping him. I was hyping him because I had the Walter Mercado, fear, bro. I spoke about it into existence the night before. if we're
That
in
is true. Yeah, that is true. Can't confirm. I mean, I wasn't happy about it. It kind of ruined my birthday because he
All
signed
right,
on my
so
birthday.
third season in, do you guys think Antuna will finally break through?
No, hombre. Vámonos.
It's gonna be the new Fulgencio, bro. Just leave it
He's
alone.
toast. He's toast, bro.
Cooked.
But that's what I'm saying. You get rid of Fulgencio and you replace him with Antuna, we're all set. He sits on the bench. You get rid of the Fulgencio, you bring in someone that's quality.
Hey, but Fulgencio at least is ready to throw some fists, man. Antuna, guy looks like he chickens out as soon as he gets yelled at.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and
Yep.
say it, bro. Antuna's a bitch.
There it is.
Well, I mean,
Hey, but he was the first one to do the hazing on the boys during training camp.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
tell me
sissy.
about it.
Facts.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I don't know, man. Again, the formula lies is you got to get rid of the dead weight on the bench, the actual bench that sits on the bench, and you got to bring the most important position, which is the left wing back position.
So let me ask you this, Arnoldo. Antuna is dead weight, right? Can we agree on that or no? Or would you keep him?
Yeah, I keep him.
You keep him? Okay.
And again,
When I
Because
say
keeping a
my
player
next
I
question.
want to be very
on
clear
a
though. When I
bench,
say
you're
when I
paying so much money.
when
for.
when I say I keep him is you've already paid so much for him. No one's gonna take his contract. So it's like, what energy am I gonna spend to try to circle around the fact that I need to sell him off somewhere?
How much do you
No
think
market.
his stock has dropped?
He has no
we
stock,
paid
bro.
what, 8 mil? How much do you think we would get if we
No
were just
stock.
so desperate and needed the money?
No stock. We would have to loan him out and pay his salary.
Oh, I think he has some market in the MLS.
It would have happened.
Bro.
Read that.
El Afore.
Tercero cashed in his
Read it, Dennis.
credits to squad at Tigres.
Bro.
I mean, so no stock or Guido Pizarro's likes him, and so do we want to believe in our head that Guido Pizarro would be foolish enough to like this player?
No, he's got no stock, bro.
No stock. So
I was just thinking, you think we could get a mil out of him? From anybody?
no, I'm
so.
telling you, we would have to literally loan him out and pay his salary. No one's gonna pay his salary.
Bro, we somehow need to get him minutes next season and
He's
have
gonna
him play all right.
That's what I'm saying. He's gonna get the minutes. He's gonna be the backup right wing, or backup, whatever position
And,
on the
And
right side.
going back to
So
the conversation about Correa.
Correa's backup then. That's gonna be his backup.
No, but not just that. Going back to our conversation about how Correa, he's gonna fit in because he's got all of these good players around him. Watch us end up with Marcelo and Antuna alongside Correa. What's he gonna do?
No, it's gonna be to end the game. It's gonna be Lainez and Ociel.
Ay, disgusting.
Bro, move Antuna to
Better
left
than
wing
Antuna
back,
Marcelo.
bro.
What'd you say?
For real, yeah.
Move Antuna to left wing back and just let him run the whole wing all day, all night.
Hombre,
Bro,
güey.
tráeme,
Without a purpose or anything, just let him run. Like run
tráeme,
sprints
tráeme, un
de
Luis,
castigo.
tráeme un Luis Advíncula, pero el lado izquierdo, bro.
Yeah.
There we go. Bring him back. Bring him back.
You know,
Ay, ay,
it's
ay.
just I feel like the puzzle is just so like washed already, and like the pieces need to be refreshed, obviously. But again, it won't happen until you move the three players that I mentioned.
That's not saying much, by the way, Threeger. That's not saying much.
Bro, if you get a couple of shots in me, I could argue for one or the other.
True. Before we move on, I need y'all to guess how many goals Vigon had in his first season at Tigres, which is the
6.
most goals that he had with the team in his
I'm
time
gonna say
here.
6.
6.
Lou?
5?
9. 9 goals and 2 assists.
Bro, when Pochoquino brought him,
Yes, bro.
my man
Pochoquino.
Pochoquino.
Can you
Bro.
believe that he scored that many goals?
I mean, he was also
Bro,
like
hey.
31 when he came.
It's true.
And at the same
Hey,
time,
and that's
it
why I
was a
think
style of
Correa's
play.
gonna do good, bro.
Well, we don't have Pochoquino.
Eh,
Bro, honestly, Pochoquino should have won a title at Tigres, bro.
Oh gosh,
but he screwed up.
If
that
he doesn't,
All right.
if he doesn't do the alineación indebida, I mean, we might have had a shot.
hombre.
Yep.
Yeah,
9 goals,
Definitely.
bro. Oh man.
He
I
had
mean, I do
Florian.
remember he definitely he was wide open a lot.
yeah. I mean, Ofensiva all the way was the move back then, so it makes sense. 9 goals the first season, 3 the second season in the league, 4 in 23-24, and then only 1 last year. But he also had 1 in Leagues Cup and 1 in CONCACAF. So
3 total.
So
3
3.
total. So
Speaking of goals, let's move on, guys. What do you guys think of Miguel Borja?
no thanks. Not especially when he's about to be a free agent. I just don't think it's worth spending
if
money.
that's the player that we're gonna bring in to start, I'd rather keep Nico Ibanez.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, me too. Me too. No thanks. Hold out for Buanga, baby.
That
Hold
guy,
out
that
for
guy gives me
Buanga.
Jordi Caicedo vibes.
Yeah, hard.
Or we bring in the kid from Boca who scored the other night, that golazo.
Merentiel or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys.
You
I just
guys
feel
are
like
gonna
we base.
you're gonna call me a big Nico fanboy, which I am, but I feel like that's a position we should leave alone this season, bro. Let's go get a holding mid, like a really good one, and let's get a wing back, and let's see how we do.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it's looking
trust
like
him. I trust him.
it's looking like we're not even gonna get the option to change him out. So yeah, we're gonna stick with him.
Yeah.
But if we could,
it's an insurance policy.
Yep.
Honestly, I do think maybe in the winter window we do replace him.
Yeah.
But I
that
think
makes
this
sense.
is not the right window for it.
Correct.
Yeah.
I agree with that. You bring in
That's,
the
that's
left
when
wing
we
back,
get
guys.
Buanga.
It's
That's
left
when we
wing
get
back.
Buanga.
It's
Yeah.
super clear and simple. Left wing back is the priority, no matter how you spin it.
Or
guys,
just
I
give
feel
the
like
keys to Dewey.
we base our analysis on players a lot on single games that we watch. This Merentiel kid, like, yeah, he had one great outstanding goal, but aside from that, like, I don't think he's that good. And you're talking about Miguel Borja giving you Jordi Caicedo vibes. I mean, Miguel Borja, he scored like 30 goals at River Plate in 45 games just a year ago, and before that, he was at Palmeiras scoring goals as well. So like,
But it's the
he's
age,
been
bro.
at
It's
big
just the
clubs
age
goals.
he's getting.
Yeah, of course, and obviously he's had a bad year, just like Ibanez has had a bad couple of years, you know. But in the end, I mean, we base ourselves. Yeah, we saw a really bad game from him, in this last River Plate game.
No, I'm just going
He's
off
shown his
age. To
Nah,
me,
bro.
it's like we need to get away from players that age in general, not just at that position.
We need speed.
I don't care how you spin it for me, bro. It's not even about one game for me. I don't give a damn about the striker. I need that left wing back spot, and that's gonna be my argument.
Yeah, that's the priority.
Like, you can bring any forward that you want, but it doesn't matter if I watch them 5 games, 6 games. I don't care for neither of the two options that were presented a couple minutes ago. Like, it's just not a priority. Like, you have Gignac, who you're giving him a 1-year contract, and you have somebody in the books already who's gonna expire pretty soon. You don't need to break the bank for a player unless it's an opportunistic, player like Angel Correa showed up, a player expiring contract, and you have that. I just don't see it. Like, it's a player that Guido Pizarro knows that other positions are in more of a need for what he wants to play, which is, again, the left wing back spot in the middle of the field. The striker is just a luxury if it presents itself. But ultimately, you can bring me Borja, you can bring me Merentiel, and it's not going to change much from Nico Ibanez already on the squad. You need the other players to complement.
It'll be like a scoring by committee next season, I think. I think the scoring will get spread around pretty evenly, and I think that's a good thing. Like, if we could get Correa scoring, Nico scoring, Bruneta scoring, and then if we get Luis Chavez, that'll be another dude that can provide some scoring. I think you spread it around pretty well.
Woo, the Luis Chavez.
Say it now. Say it now. Will Nico Ibanez score more goals this season
5.
with Correa?
Yes.
7, baby. Yeah. And I'll remind you guys que la cagaron gacho with the predictions on Nico Ibanez for last season.
Oh, he scored 3 goals.
Oh no, you got to count everything. You got to count every competition.
How many you get total?
Tell how many did he get? He scored 3 goals in Liga MX.
And then he got what, another 3 for Conca? When
Let's
I
say
think
2
the highest
tops.
prediction was 3. Some of you guys were saying 0.
Yeah, of course, because we were not counting on Guignac's injury. So that's why I want to go back to what you guys just predicted. 7, 5. Dennis, how many did you say?
I'll say 6. I'll be
Okay.
that guy.
To me, those are high. Because to me, I think Guignac, if he's not at 100% right now, he will be in a month. And I think Guignac will still be our starting striker.
No shot. No
I
shot.
think so.
How many you saying, Alfred, across all competitions? How many you predicting?
Well, across all competitions, then yeah, we can say maybe 6.
Yeah. I mean, you got to count everything. Everything counts.
You're counting. I'm just thinking Liga MX. I'm thinking Liga MX. Nico 4.
Okay.
I'm being generous because I still think that Guignac is going to be our starting striker.
I'm
Okay.
willing to bet some money that Gignac is not the starter.
Probably, to be honest. Even though Tigres is saying that he'll start this season and sub in the spring.
He hasn't played in
Right
6
with me.
months.
AJ saying get a winger that can cross play to Nico's strengths. When he was at Pachuca, Nico was dominant in the air. Well, unless the guys took crossing lessons from Osvaldo Rodriguez and his one glorious cross in that.
Oh,
classic
speaking of
friendly.
another dead weight,
There you go. There's another one.
forgot about him.
El Osby.
Dude, I was so high on him whenever he first came over. I was like, Angulo's finally gonna sit down at that left back spot.
We're high on Antuna too, man. Like you're 0 for 6 now.
Yeah, I was high on Antuna. You didn't watch. You weren't on the episode when I said that you bring in the guy Antuna the night before he arrived. Of course, I'm gonna be high on him. I predicted nobody had him on the radar, and your boy out of nowhere like, ooh,
If
he's
we
stuck to the club.
if we never mention Antuna again on this pod, I'd be so happy, bro. That guy like gives me heartburn every time we mention him. I have to take like
Antuna.
Tums.
Oh,
Yeah, it just hurts, bro, all the way down. Like
Toma la pastilla. Toma la
gotcha, bro.
pastilla.
Like reflux.
I think
You
we
know,
can.
vale nada, bro. Like thinking Arnoldo wouldn't give you like 5 cents for that guy.
No stop.
Arnoldo wouldn't even play him on his neighborhood team, bro.
AJ saying I'll give him 7. Fair.
Oh, 7
he's
goals.
talking
That's
about
good. That's
Ibanez.
good.
Yeah, across all competitions. I mean, because in the end we got what Leagues Cup, and we're also playing Conca or not?
Nah,
Yes,
just
we are
leave.
playing. We are playing Conca.
Yeah, but next season,
Yeah. We're only playing leagues right now.
leagues and Liga MX. That's it.
So it's just Leagues Cup and Liga MX. Yeah.
Speaking of that, you guys taking the trip out to Cali?
I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to
think
do
so.
the LA trip.
Man, I want to, but I was looking. I can fly for free with points, but I don't know if I want to invest. I need to see the left wing back spot get signed first.
So Correa's not enough to drive you to make that expense.
No, if I didn't go see other players who've given us more, and I'm not gonna give a player that hasn't shown up yet.
I kind of hope that.
And is he even gonna be around for Leagues Cup? You think?
I think he will be.
That's when he starts. That's when he's gonna start playing.
I think so. I hope that we go far in Leagues Cup. Obviously, I hope we go far in everything.
This
It's
is the
crazy.
This is the driving point, though. He's got a point here.
Facts. It is crazy expensive out there.
San Diego is beautiful. It's San Francisco and LA had a baby. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I hope we go far because hopefully we can go to somewhere different, and maybe that'll be worth it.
Yeah, that's definitely. I just came back from San Diego 3 months ago, so that's kind of I don't know if I want to go back to LA. I didn't have the best time the last time I was there.
Lou and Dennis, you are coming down though to Houston, right?
Oh, I won't
Yeah.
be there for the Houston game. I won't be there. I'll be.
Yeah, I'll be there for that one. Alfred,
I'll be gone.
we should get something going for that.
I'll be there in
Hey,
spirit.
No matter what they say, we got to do the tailgating, man.
It's a Tuesday game.
No matter.
No, that's fine. I'm just saying it's a Tuesday game.
Yep, I'll
Cancel everything.
be gone.
All right, let's go because I didn't finish eating my dinner before we even got on the pod. It didn't
Your
even start.
palomitas weren't your dinner?
No,
Bro, you're supposed to have dinner at 7 p.m., not at 9 p.m. What are you doing?
A las 11:30 de la
He's on
noche.
he's on that Monterrey schedule,
Bro,
bro.
that's what I was saying. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's gonna
Comiendo
go out
cena a
for
las
some
10 de
late
la
night
noche.
tacos, bro. The
Bro,
midnight
no,
tacos.
I made a stir fry with chicken and broccoli and cauliflower
Bro-
and
bro's
edamame.
on that. Let me go get some tacos from Chilo at like 11 p.m. before they
Nah,
close.
Oh, that's
dude.
the best, bro. That's the best.
That's only during the week I stay at a hotel, and on the weekends I stay with the fam. So on the weekends only when I eat like tacos and shit.
Oh, bre.
Nice breeze blowing through the taco stand, bro.
Oh,
Man,
come on
that's
now. Come on now.
all
Bro,
right, bro. All right.
that was me the other day when the last time I was down there. There's a spot over by my place called Tacos del Chavo. They literally have a little Chavo figurine like outside of it. And that's what it was. Outside, cool breeze at like 10:30. Just got out of the airport. Had some nice tacos de pastor. Woo! Bro, filled me up. Shout out I want to shout out Taqueria Nuevo Leon in Richardson, Texas, which is like North Dallas area. I went there the other day on Thursday. Delicious. It made me feel like I was at home.
1 out of 10.
I give it about a 7.
What did you have?
I went yesterday to Doña Tota.
Oh,
Yeah.
hold that thought out for what did you get, Dennis?
I had some tacos, and then they had these
Yeah, what kind of tacos though?
carne asada and trompo.
The
And their
trompo was
carne-
better.
No, their carne asada was really good. Their trompo was good, but their carne asada was really good. And they also had chicharrón bites, which were I'll pull up the picture of
Bro,
it.
you didn't post it.
Here you go.
Oh, big fan
Ooh,
of
those
that.
look good, bro.
Yeah, those are
That's
fire.
definitely authentic because some of these places out here that just think that they're Nuevo León or Monterrey style taquerias, and
Yeah.
they don't give you the good stuff.
No, that was good. And I had some flan after. The flan was busting too. It was a good time. It was a good experience.
Okay. Need you to post some pics so we can hype it up.
Alfred, what were you
Alfred,
saying about
Doña
tacos?
Tota in Houston.
Yeah.
What's up?
They have Doña Tota now in Katy. So anyone out there or driving to Houston, you probably pass right by. It's right before Beltway 8. So, man, I mean, I hadn't eaten Doña Tota in God knows how long, maybe like 6 years, 5, 6 years. It's really good, but I did kind of taste some differences. And, I had some chile en rajas. Those were good. Deshebrada was really good. The papa con chorizo, I kind of felt like the chorizo didn't taste the same as in Mexico. And then the frijoles con queso, also the frijoles are, I don't know. But overall, I mean, it's good for us, that tried Doña Tota in Mexico. It's good to have it back over here as well.
Okay. Some quick off the field matters real quick, and then we'll get out of here. Abonos. I know you got yours already, Alfred.
Crazy
fig-
expensive, bro.
Yeah, but it looks like, are they going to sell out? I mean, I imagine they will, but
Well, they had extended up to today, like, because it was supposed to be the last day on Friday, and then they extended it to today. So I don't know if they ended up selling all of them or not. And I mean, I don't know what's even going on with like the wait list, because supposedly there's this wait list of like 50,000 people waiting for abonos. So if like there's people that aren't renewing their abonos, next people on the wait list should be called up.
My problem with it is like there's no way to even look at it. There's anytime there's a communication
Thank
that
you.
goes out, there's no like, hey, make sure you're on the waiting list. Like there's no re-emphasizing of it. Like it's almost like it's gatekept now or gatekept now.
And it's not transparent. So it's like they could be giving it to anyone.
Yeah.
right, yeah. But shoot, if I can get my hands on one, even though
Yeah,
But
dude,
they're
I
more
mean,
they've
pricey,
gone up in price like crazy. I'm talking about like, 10, 15 years ago, the same area, Puerta Siete is where I have mine, would have cost me like 3,500, 3,600 pesos. And now, practically cost 10K. So 11K almost.
So what, $500 for the year?
Yeah, no, close to 600, with the dollar going down.
So $600.
But it's, yeah.
That's not
But
bad.
I mean, obviously, well, no, I mean, obviously, if you're, maybe to us, but like if you translate it to pesos or people living in Mexico, it's a huge increase. Like what they've experienced over the last, I'm going to say over the last 4 years, because they really, weren't going up at like 200, $300 like a year. And then like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, they started going up like 2,000 more, 2,000 more. And this year was like 3,000 more. So, and obviously if you're just buying one, okay, it's not that bad. But there's people out there, that, have 3, 4, 5 season passes for their whole family. That's a whole bunch of change.
I just can't empathize with that because it's a choice. No one's forcing you to buy the ticket.
Facts.
No, it's not. But at the same time, what is it that we're getting in return? Because the installations are exactly the same, and now the team's getting worse.
You don't have to
They're
support the team, bro.
they're
That's
trying
that's
to
literally
they're
the
trying to
choice.
build a new stadium, Alfred.
That's true. That's yeah. They're
Well, yeah, and obviously, we got that survey, talking about, what the whole new stadium should be, and like what would people agree on in terms of like, how much to spend and whatnot. I mean, I was looking at some of those things and it's like, shoot, that's probably even more expensive than some, stadiums in Europe, which is crazy.
Yeah, and another thing is facilities, bro. I think they're finally getting serious about trying to get better facilities, better training facilities. Um, Perhaps even moving away from Swaswa and having
I think
training
they already
grounds
No, they
did.
did.
closer.
They're at that new training
No,
center.
but
They
for
already
the
did.
for the youth squads,
Oh,
because they're still having to go way out there to play their games, and the femenil goes out there as well. So I think they're trying to bring everything back into Monterrey, and I think that's costing a penny.
I mean, I think it definitely also lies on, even though Cemex backs us up, I think they're definitely giving back some of the responsibility back to the team and
yeah.
figuring out ways to make money. And obviously, we do it through marketing and merch and sales and whatnot. But you got to do it some way or another. And like, there's plenty of people that are willing to buy a season pass. That's not ever going to be in question. So that's why for
Got your
me,
hands on some of them?
no, dude, like that's what I'm saying. Everybody's all talk. Everybody wants to criticize the team, but I están de lambehuevos like gonna be there, being on, at the game.
Yeah.
It's super annoying for me, like to read like people talking about like, oh,
Thing
like
it,
the thing, like they haven't got any players, and like why should we renew? Like dude, like it's gonna renew. It's not gonna affect you. You're still gonna watch with pittiness in your eyes and pettiness, and like you're still gonna make corajes, and at the end of the day you're shortening your life by X years just because like someone's not willing to spend money on something that has no control about how you live your life besides watching the game for 2 hours.
You know why they keep raising abono prices? Because they got a hefty contract. They got to pay Monkey Papas to sell in the stadium. That's why.
Sponsor us.
And Pizza de Prisa.
Yeah, anybody that listens or potentially listens here in the future, let me know about tickets. I need two for sure.
Same.
I'm willing to buy four, but two for sure.
someone in my comments on Twitter that's offering two, but they're 9B, so they're like above on top.
Yeah, I need two in like zona de gol.
Bro, I've
Preferably.
responded to quite a bit of people talking shit about like I want to sell it, like I'm not gonna renew. I'll talk, bro. No
Yeah, bro.
response.
Puras piñas.
And even one of my friends responded was like, you gotta advertise it in USD, not pesos.
That's true. That's true. Okay, last thing. The home kit for this year has come out. If you haven't noticed by now, listeners and viewers. Who all here has gotten theirs? I have not gotten mine yet. I have not even
Not
thought
yet.
about ordering it. Lou?
Not yet.
Not yet, man. Not yet. It's coming though. It's coming.
Okay. Are y'all getting the authentic? You getting the player, or the fan? Sorry.
Both. I usually get both and everything. Because
Oh, you're rich.
I'm
I
going
do
back.
the fan edition for wearing out, and the player edition stays in the
Oh, and then
collection.
you have your closet edition. Oh, I see. You're rich.
I'm going back. I'm going back to the fan, bro.
I don't
What
like the new
happened?
player
You didn't like
edition.
the player edition?
I don't
I
think it
do.
looks
I do.
good.
I do like the player edition. I got a couple boys, but I'm going back to the fan. For $60 difference, I can be okay with the fan.
Yeah, I think the fan.
Since
one
I want to
looks
buy,
better.
since I want to buy the long sleeve version, I think this time I'm gonna go with the player edition because, from what I understand, it's like lighter. So I'm always I have like three other long ones that I'm always sweating in. So
I
Yeah,
am going long sleeve though on this one because
Yeah,
I
correct
don't think
answer.
I don't think I have a long sleeve besides the Adidas original kit.
Yeah, that's the correct answer.
I have a long sleeve that says Tigres. I'm trying to think what year it was.
The black and white one. I used to have that when I gave it away.
No, it's yellow and blue. I'll wear it on the next pod.
What do we? Okay, so overall approval rating, we're good with the jersey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looked better than the leaks.
8.5 out of 10, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it's definitely an improvement over the last one. I think the last one was pretty good too, especially the away one. That's my where we're at. Like, are we gonna do another launch in the US side when the Leagues Cup is happening that we didn't release the away jersey or what?
Probably.
Probably. That's about the right time frame.
Because that kit, the practice kit, is amazing.
That one's fire.
Incredible.
I'm definitely gonna get the fire without the sleeves, the sleeveless one.
Yeah, dude,
I'm
that one
definitely
was
getting that one.
awesome.
Bro, and
Good gym clothes.
like that yellow like hoodie jacket that came out the other day too. Have y'all seen that one?
Yeah.
That thing looks busting too.
That practice jersey might be
I mean,
like
that's-
one of the best kits I've seen in a very long time. Like it's like a very like deep blue. Like it's like in your face blue. Like I'm here for it.
Yeah. I need
Yeah,
it.
it's nice. They hadn't done a practice jersey like that in forever.
Yeah.
That nice.
Yeah, bro. Since Matador and Luis Hernandez were boxing it out,
Yeah. Yeah.
those were nice back then. Those Carta Blanca Atlética ones.
Uh-huh. I
The
have
only-
a few of them.
The only interesting thing now is what else is going to come out of the originals collection, because the leak came out of the jersey and something else, I think, or it's like the men's jersey and then like the women's is like a dress. You know what I'm saying?
That's the originals kit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which
But
Looks
they're
good
not on
too.
sale yet, are they?
no, they're not on sale. It looks fine, but I don't like the white that they got going on.
Show
White
us.
collar.
Show us real quick.
I'm trying to find it. Oh, and also the pre-match jersey is also very interesting. This
The
one,
pre-match is nice too.
this
I
one,
like
the one-
that.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That's
can't-
that's the second season in a row where the pre-match is on point.
Yeah.
I still need to get that.
Speaking
Wonder
of
Woman
pre-match, that one Technicolor one that looked kind of like grayish black with like a whole bunch of like lines. It's like for $25-$30 at Dick's right now.
Oh, really?
But you're not
25
talking
$30.
about the Hispanic Heritage
Is that
edition,
is that
are
what
you?
it is? I think that's what you're talking about.
Is it a
I'm pretty
Hispanic
sure.
heritage? Maybe. It was like a Technicolor, like
They had the
grayish, kind of like
zigzags like this
turn it
coming
up
down.
against the light. Yeah, the zigzags. Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
Dude,
I think
my-
that's
I think you bought it,
the
didn't you?
Hispanic Heritage one.
My
Yeah.
uncle had me on a mission to
Yeah, it's
find
for
that
like
jacket.
$25 on Dick's right now.
What'd you say? I don't know though.
Oh, they had a
So-
jacket of that too, right?
Yeah, that Pauno used to wear. My uncle was like, I want that one. I went to the outlet. Like I told you guys, there's not very much stuff there. I went a second time because he told me to go find it. Not good. Very, very limited stuff.
Gas, by the way.
Yeah, dude, that's
Gas. Looks so good. I'm still trying
That's
to
what
find
I'm saying. You think these guys are worried about the abonos when everybody buys that like it's candy? Like, ain't no worried about people renovating abonos. See, that's sick.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I don't know about the
it's
white
got
color,
that
though.
not it's well it kind of
Alfred,
got
you're gonna get it,
throwback
bro.
to 1982.
Stop circling around and acting like you don't like it. You're gonna get it,
See,
bro.
why did they not make it like this? Why
No.
did they make the collar white on the men's and blue on the women's?
Exactly.
That looks incredible.
Yeah, that is
yeah.
sick.
But
Man,
No,
yeah,
actually, I don't buy every piece of attire. I'm not Lou here buying 2 pieces of everything.
stop lying.
He's like, I'm not dumb like Lou.
No, I'm not rich.
I'm not wasteful
No,
like Lou.
I pick and choose.
also
I pick and choose, man. 'Cause
the
I got 4
dorsal,
kids.
so good. Like this, the name and letter is way better.
Yes,
than
I
last
love
year.
the number.
way
love
way
the
way
number,
better
yes.
than last year.
Alfred, I
Oh
better
my-
not see you with any other jerseys this season.
Oh no, I will buy. No, that's what I'm saying. But I pick and choose which ones I buy. I'm not
La
gonna buy all of them.
cuenta. It's all about la cuenta, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta keep tabs.
Guys, for next pod, y'all gotta bring your receipts. How much you've spent this year?
I have one. I'm telling you, I put it on one credit card all year. So I'll
There
tell
you
you
go.
my
You'll
exact
be able to
one.
pull it out.
Yeah, that'll be a Christmas time podcast when we're
But we can say we're halfway through the year. We can see how far along we are,
the
Yeah,
how far
dude.
in debt we are.
3 days ago was the halfway point of the year.
the solstice or whatever.
Yeah, it was the longest day of the year.
Madre mia. Is that it?
Yeah, it's time to go. Time to go do other things.
Ya se quiere cenar este. He's ready to eat.
Yeah, I've been sitting here the last 2 hours, and before that, I was at the gym.
Your body's probably like, what is happening to you right now? Oh man. Well, this was fun. It was good to be back.
100.
If you don't see me around next few episodes, listener, I don't know when the next time we'll record is, but if you don't see me around, it's because I'm gonna be gone. So
When is the first game of the season?
the first game of the season is
Like 2 weeks,
July
no?
19th.
Oh wow!
July 19th. So we
And
still
the
got
season,
about a
but the
month.
season starts 3 weeks for everybody else, right? The 14th,
1 week before,
No.
on the 11th, I think.
the
Yeah,
11th. Yeah.
yeah. We just had the random
Yeah,
extra week
with
'cause of
no
Chivas.
explanation. Again.
With Chivas, yeah, with their stadium. That's what
It was
is.
their
Oh, it was
stadium
because of the
thing.
stadium.
Excuse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're playing that game, and
Bro, we act like they've never played at Estadio Jalisco.
Yeah. What
yeah, come on, seriously,
could have easily been played at the Jalisco.
for real, or somewhere else. I
Bro,
mean,
They're
freaking
probably
still-
having a concert there or something.
Bro, we're still a month out from some action, some Tigres action.
yeah, bro.
We should have been
Bro.
in this
And I'm
damn
about to
World
be
Cup, bro.
gone, bro. I'm about to be gone for 3 weeks. Y'all better hold it down, skis.
Bro,
So
another
that means
month.
we're not having a pod for 3 weeks.
Nah, chill out. QB1 coming back to his rightful.
Bro,
There's got to be some news. Otherwise, we better sign somebody. Otherwise, we're not meeting, bro.
yeah, agreed. Bro, another month of Dog Days of Summer.
I'm gonna wait.
Bro, Dog Days of Summer Part 2 in a month from now. We have no signings.
And we're just gonna be talking about the most random crap.
Los Aburridos
And we'll be talking
podcast,
about
bro.
how Fulgencio, Tercero, and they're still down. Oh my
Los
God.
Aburridos is crazy.
Oh my god, bro!
so
I'm telling you, I'm gonna shave my beard if by the next pod in a month if any of those guys are still on the team. I'm gonna
Oh,
risk it.
okay. I'll hold you to it. Okay.
All
I'm
right.
gonna
All
risk
right.
it. If one of them leaves, I'm okay.
Yes,
I'll
we're
keep
get-
it. But if none of them
No,
leave,
I
I'll shave
think
it.
we're gonna see. I think we're gonna see babyface Arnoldo.
Bro,
Oh,
you
man.
really think we're gonna keep all those guys still in a month
We're-
from now?
Bro, why haven't
we're
they
gonna see
moved? We
baby
should have
face
moved
at
them
the
already,
moment,
bro.
bro.
They should have moved already.
Bro,
They should have moved already.
¿qué le
It's not
hicieron,
that
bro?
hard, bro. Not that hard to move those guys. I mean,
Oh man.
Bro, you're telling me a month from now we're still gonna have Fulgencio Vigón and Tercero? No, mames, bro.
Yes.
Nobody can aspire for a championship with those guys. It's like when you used to play, anything from like Madden and you would randomize and you would get the shittiest teams first because you had those shitty players that would bring the
Yeah.
overall rating. Those are those guys, bro. Like good players on the rest of the squad, and they just bring the overall rating down on this team just by being on it. Goodness.
I can't.
oh man.
Yeah. So, anyways, well, I guess we'll be back at some point in the next month. But it really might be Dog Days of Summer 2.0.
Yeah. It's looking like it, bro.
Los Aburridos will come back here in about a month.
Here, we'll do a special pod whenever Angel Correa shows up in like 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
A
Well,
30-minute pod so we can,
Or how about right after his first game, so we can have something to talk about?
bro, that might not be for another month and a half.
He's not
though.
gonna play until September, bro.
Bro,
No, we'll do a quick 30-minute pod with 5 minutes.
Hey,
of-
bro. Si llega lesionado, bro, or he gets hurt in practice.
hombre, güey.
Oh, hey,
bro,
hold on,
cancel
hold
this
on,
season.
hold on.
Cancel
Hold
this.
on,
We're-
my
we're
bad.
gonna
Knock on wood.
We're gonna do a 30-minute pod with Angel Correa's arrival and 5 minutes with all his goals with the himno playing behind it.
And Alfred saying, no va a funcionar. It ain't gonna
Yeah.
work, bro.
And then the
Bro.
rest of the time, we're gonna spend it just trying to
Hey,
prove Alfred wrong.
I'm not trying to be that guy. It's just
You have been
All
that guy,
signs
Alfred.
point
That's
to
what
it,
you're
dude.
known for. Your name is
Bro.
literally called
Hey.
Tigres Takes.
Did I
Hey,
did I miss on
with his
Altura, bro?
negativity though,
Did I
it's been right because of his
Bro.
negativity.
Bro,
every
why
day,
did you name
No,
yourself
bro.
Tigres Steaks? You should be called Tigres Troll at this point.
every day that I wake up and log in on Twitter, I just see Alfred responding to somebody like important of Tigres and tagging everybody. What are y'all doing today? Why aren't y'all doing your job? I was like, bro.
My man just wants to see the world burn, bro.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
if I can
crazy.
reach somebody that gets Gerardo Torrado fired, I will be a happy man. That's it.
It's happening on his own in 1
Yeah.
year.
Yeah,
Ay,
he's
Dios mío.
he's
Hopefully.
toast.
1
That-
year from now, his job will pertain to Andre Pierre.
That's right. That's right. Hopefully,
All
they
right.
don't-
If not, Dennis shaves off his beard.
no mames.
Bro, you're
No.
gonna get rid of most all of his hair on his head that he has.
Por eso, güey.
Clean all the way, bro.
No, hombre, güey. I look like a freaking egghead.
Mr.
Una
Clean.
Una película de huevos looking boy. That's what I'm
You're gonna look like Xavier from X-Men, bro.
That's crazy. That.
All right, time to go. I'll see you guys. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for
Peace.
being here. Follow us on all the
Peace.
socials. And shameless plug, go stream my song. It's called Happiness, and I think you'll really like it. Okay, goodbye. See you in a month.